Welcome everyone to the video tutorial of how to play competitive backdoors and breaches. In this tutorial, we'll be following the rule document that you guys might have already seen, or the rules that are online, loosely, but we'll kind of give a visual representation of how to set up and then how to play by demonstrating a couple of rounds of play between one player versus another player, so 1v1. I'm going to be assisted by Seth today. My name is Tim, and we'll get right into it. So before playing Backdoors and Breaches competitive, you need a couple of things. You need the core deck version 3 of the normal tabletop incident response card game, Backdoors and Breaches. And out of that, you will need only a couple elements, most of them. The only thing you will not need that can go back into the box are the inject cards, the gray ones. Those can go back in and go to the side. The other cards that you're going to pull out, you're going to separate out the initial compromise cards. They are red. You're going to pull out the persistence cards, which are purple. The pivot and escalate cards, which are yellow. And the C2 and exfil cards, which are brown. You also will take out the blue detection cards. And what you're going to do is look at the bottom corner down here. And that number right there is the price to activate these. I'll explain that more here in a bit. But what you can do is lay out those blue detection cards off to the side of where you're playing to form what's going to be called your market. So these 4 card piles right here are going to be your attacks, and these cards over here are going to function more as defense. Again, I'll get into that in a second. So the other part that you're going to need is the new preparation cards that are specifically for competitive backdoors and breaches. These cards all have unique art and unique actions, and they all do something different. Now, there's several different kinds of cards in here, but the most important differentiating types that you need to know is normal cards versus trap cards. Trap cards are teal, and they are played differently than normal cards, and we'll get into that in a bit as well. So once you have these cards set up from your core deck, you can pull out your preparation cards, and you're going to pick out 15 of them that will make up your play deck. So I'm going to do that now. You can look at them when you do this, because again, they all do different things, and this is where you can kind of build a deck and use different kinds of strategies to get an advantage over your opponent. I had already selected 15, so I have them right here. Once I select my 15, I'm going to shuffle them up and keep them face down in front of me like so. Now, when you're building your deck of 15 cards, you have one restriction, and that is that you can only put 3 of those teal trap cards in those 15 cards. That is because they have special actions, and we don't want you to be able to just build an entire deck of trap cards. So, after you have those 15 and you have this set up, you're ready to play. The other couple things you need are RP tokens, or something to signify RP. RP stands for resource points, and they will function as one of your life sources in this game. The other life source is your preparation cards. If at any time you run out of RP or preparation cards, you are out of the game. Preparation cards function a little differently because they kind of monitor how many turns you can take. So if Seth and I had the same amount of prep cards and we both run out at the same time, then it's whoever has the most RP at the end of the game. The rest of the RP that you will get forms a bank. Now, this bank is going to function as a place to gain RP from or give RP to that is not player to player. So you will be receiving a stack of 15 RP tokens, and the 5 extra will go into the bank along with your opponent's 5 extra. The other thing that you will need is a D20 sided dice, or 20 sided dice. And this is going to function for a lot of the stuff in this game, and as you'll see. So what we're going to do is we're going to get right into demonstrating how rounds of play will work and explaining how the turns work. There are 3 parts of a turn. And while I'm explaining these, Seth is going to go ahead and do the actions as I explain them. So, the first part of your turn every single round is the draw phase. So during this phase, Seth is going to take the top 3 cards off of his deck. And he's going to look at them, and he's going to be like, this one's good, this one's all right. I want to play this one. And when he picks one to play, he's going to lay it down face up in front of him. The other 2 cards that he did not choose are going to go to the bottom of his deck. Now, he's going to look at this card, and it's not going to focus enough to read. But down in the bottom right corner, it says +6. It says 2 roll 6+. This means that in order to activate this card and do what it says, he needs to roll a 6 or a better on his dice. So go ahead and do that now. He rolled a 15, so he can go ahead and do what's on this card. So go ahead and read out what that card does, Seth.
All right, this card is anti-siphon training. Because I successfully activated it, I'm allowed to purchase a detection card for no cost. Detection cards are over here in the market. I get to pick whichever one I want, and I will pick Endpoint Security Protection Analysis.
And now what he's going to do with that card is he's going to place it out in front of him in what's called the toolbox. So the area up here, we will eventually have playmats. For now, just imagine it. He will have a little area up here that's going to be, like I said, his toolbox. He can have up to 3 of these detection cards at one time to give him an advantage on defensive rolls. Now, you may have noticed that that card told him that he could purchase something for no cost. Purchasing is actually phase 2 of his turn. So after he just completed what he just did, he's going to move on to phase 2, where he can, if he so chooses, spend his RP to buy another detection card from the market. Now, you do not have to do this because, again, this RP is your life. If you spend more of it to get more defense, you could potentially lose faster. So, like I said, he does not have to choose to buy something, but that is phase 2. So go ahead, Seth.
In this instance, I would choose not to purchase a new card.
Cool. And that's a good idea because he got to elevate one for free anyway. So now he's going to move on to phase 3 of his turn, which is called the action phase. The action phase is now where he gets to choose an opponent to either attack or defend against. Because he is not under attack and because he went first, it makes most sense for him to choose an opponent to attack. Obviously, in this instance, it's 1v1. He's going to choose to attack me. Now, when he does that, he's going to take his D20 and he's going to roll it. He rolled an 11. That means that is a successful attack. Successful attacks are equivalent to rolling an 11 or better. If he rolled a 10, that is unsuccessful and his turn would have been over. However, he rolled an 11, so he's going to start forming what's called a kill chain on me. So his kill chain will always start with initial compromise, or red. And he's going to draw that top card, place it face up towards me, right here. That is the start of his kill chain. Now, he is not done because he successfully rolled. He gets to pick up the dice and roll again. He rolled a 4. His turn is over. So, it is now my turn. So, we're going to repeat what we just did. At the start of my turn, I'm going to take the top 3 preparation cards from my deck, and I'm going to look at them. And I'm going to choose this one. Now, you might remember that I said that teal cards are trap cards. Trap cards, if you notice, the back doesn't look any different from any of the other cards. That's because I don't want Seth to know that I have a trap card that I'm going to activate. Instead of rolling on trap cards, you may notice down in the bottom right corner, it says cost 2 RP. That means that if I want to activate this trap, I need to spend 2 of my RP, and it will go to the bank. And now I can place this card face down right here. Another thing to note about Seth's last turn that we forgot to talk about is that after he activated that prep card on his turn, it moved to what's called the burn pile. The burn pile means that that card is now out of the game. You can signify that in any way you want. Just know that you cannot bring that card back into your deck unless you have a certain preparation card or there's another means to do so that allows you to. This obviously is a trap card, so it's a little different. The playmat will help with this and kind of show you where things go. But for now, just remember, this is an active trap. That is a burn pile. So I am now done with my preparation draw phase. I'm going to move on to my purchase phase. So for this phase, I am now under attack right here. I can go ahead and look at this card, right? And I can read on it that there is, if it focuses, under the detection section on the attack card, it lists a couple different things that detect this form of attack. All of the things that are listed under the detection section are over here in my market. So I'm going to take a look. I see seam log analysis, user and entity behavior analysis, analytics, firewall log analysis, cloud event log analysis, and permissions audit. So now that it's my purchase phase, I'm going to go over to my market and I'm going to say, okay, on this card, permissions audit is listed. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spend 2 more of my RP to purchase this detection, and I'll put it in my toolbox. And like I said, your toolbox can either be up or below. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to put that over here, and I now have that in my arsenal. Now I'm going to move on to phase 3 of my turn, which is the action phase. Since I am under attack, I am going to choose to defend against Seth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the cards that are in play against me, and I'm going to see if any of those detection cards line up to it. Sure enough, permissions audit can detect compromised trusted relationship. That means that this card, I'm going to choose to activate it, and I'm going to push it forward a little bit out of my toolbox. That means that this card is going to give me a +3 modifier on a defensive roll. Normally, I would have to roll an 11 or better to knock this card off of me. Right now, I need to roll an 8 or better. So here we go. I rolled a 13. This card is now off of me, and it goes to the bottom of his initial compromise pile. Now, this permissions audit card, even though I didn't need that +3 modifier, I did activate it, so it is now disabled for 2 turns. And I'm going to signify that by turning it completely upside down. So, that is now my turn complete. It'll go back to Seth. So once again, he drew the top 3 prep cards and picked one that he wants to attempt to activate. He rolled a 12. The cost was 11. He can do what it says.
So this card allows me to take 3 RP for an opponent.
So I can take 3
RP
RP
from Tim.
and I give it to him. And again, that card, successfully activated or not, goes to the burn pile over there, and it is out of the game. So that is phase 1.
I will skip the purchase phase once again.
Skipping phase 2.
And go straight into attacking.
On to phase 3.
I'm not currently under attack. So
He rolled a 17. That's successful. Phase 1 of this kill chain. He rolled a 5. His turn is over. Now, we're going to jump back and we're actually going to cover some special scenarios. So Seth rolled a 5. We're going to ignore that, and we're going to say that he rolled a 20 while he was attacking me. 20s on attack, if you roll it, are really good. You might have played Dungeons and Dragons, and you might know that 20s are crits, right? That means if he had rolled a 20 after getting 1 level, he can instantly fill in the remaining levels of his kill chain on me immediately. That means I'm in trouble now because he has a full kill chain against me. Not only that, but he gets to roll again because he rolled a 20, and 20s are good. So go ahead and roll again, Seth. He rolled a 6. However, for the example again, I only have 3 RP remaining until I am out of the game. So what that means is that because he had a full kill chain, he was rolling his dice directly to steal my remaining RP. So if Seth had rolled a 13 or a better, I would have been out of the game. He didn't, luckily, so it's going to be my turn now. So I'm going to start by doing an upkeep phase because I had a detection card that I had used. So I'm going to turn it sideways, meaning I have 1 turn left until it's I can activate it again. And then I'm going to draw the top 3 cards again. So pick one of these. Let's do this one. I'm going to choose to activate Snake Oil Flash Sale. I'm going to attempt to. I need to roll a 10 or a better. I rolled a 4. That's unsuccessful. This is going to be burned. So, on to my purchase phase. Obviously, I have 3 RP left. I don't want to purchase anything because I would lose the game unless I bought something that's 2 or 1, but that's also not a good idea. So, I'm going to skip the purchase phase as well, and I'm going to move on to defending. Now, for the example, I'm going to roll to see if I just do it, but if I don't, I'll be just showing you what would happen if I roll a 20 now. I did not roll a 20. I'm not that cool. But we're going to pretend I did. So as I'm defending and I roll a 20, all 4 levels of Seth's kill chain are active against me. I rolled a 20 on defense. That means all 4 levels are off now. So go ahead and take those back, and they go to the bottom of the respective piles. Now, once he gets those all back under, we're going to do the alternatives for both situations. So I am now not under attack, right? But, say he had 1 level of attack. Go ahead and place 1 level of attack against me. Cool. So he has first part of his kill chain established. I want to defend against it. I go to roll, and I roll a 1. As you might know, same thing in Dungeons and Dragons. 1s are critical failures. That means if I was defending against Seth when there was only 1 level of his kill chain and I rolled a 1, that means that it also fills in his whole kill chain. So he'll place the remaining 3 levels onto me, and once again, I'm in trouble. So go ahead and start your turn again, Seth, and then we'll see if I survive the next turn.
So I rolled a 5. This card needs a 9 or better to activate, so it is disburned. I'm not under an attack, and I'm also going to skip my purchase phase and go straight into attacking Tim. Because I have a whole full kill chain on, I'm going straight for his IRP right now. I rolled a 16. That means I would take 6 RP from him. He only has 3 remaining. He'd be out of the game.
And Seth wins. Now, I'm going to jump back because I forgot that I do have a trap card, right? So at any point, what would have happened, so say that Seth only had 3 levels of his kill chain, right? And he rolls normally an attack roll to try to get the 4th level. This trap card allows me to redirect the attack onto my opponent. So if he went to establish that C2 and exfil stage of his kill chain, I would actually say, hold on, you just activated my trap card that I had purchased a while ago, and I can reflect that at the initial compromise phase of my attack turn, and his turn ends. It goes straight to me. So that is how important it is to remember that you have trap cards, and they all do different things. So with that, that is a very, very brief overview of how to play competitive Backdoors and Breaches. I hope that you guys enjoy, and if you have any questions, reach out to myself, to Seth, to anybody at Black Hills Information Security or Anti-Siphon Training, and we'll get your questions answered. So thank you all, and good luck rolling.